going on, guys? It is JJ here, back with another FIFA U20 World Cup video. This the final video for the FIFA U20 World Cup, the final contest between Ukraine and South Korea. Now, guys, this game was such a sort of exciting affair with what was probably one of the better, fast break team goals I think I've seen, with Ukraine winning the U20 World Cup. I'm gonna say it, guys. Of all of the teams, I think, coming into this tournament, Ukraine was not even in my top 5 to win this World Cup. And with it being, is so tightly contested between these two teams, especially I feel like in the first half of play, the first half specifically was just, it was jaw-dropping football. With the formations that these two teams played, I didn't expect it to, actually be as sort of similar in terms of style and in terms of what they both wanted to accomplish. But this game in the second half finally broke open, and unfortunately it wasn't for Korea's favor, with Ukraine battling off of what would be a nice set-piece situation, and then some nice counter-attacking football against this Korean side, who I don't want to say is more disciplined or more built in sort of what they want with the formation, with the senior squad playing that 5-3-2, and then the U20 squad as well playing that 5-3-2. But Ukraine, guys, just I know this Ukraine team specifically hasn't been, the most individually talented, or, the most brooding with young prospects. But Andrei Lunin, I think is how you say his name, the backup goalkeeper for Real Madrid, that defense for the Ukraine in general, that back five has worked beautifully for them this entire U20 World Cup. They have been an absolute pleasure to watch. And then going forward, Vladyslav Supriaha. I'm sorry, I could not pronounce that name. But going forward, Supriaha he was lights out in this game. He was absolutely lights out. The somewhat worked set piece situation to get him the goal in the first half, and then the beautiful tuck into the bottom corner in the second half got the 2 goals to give Ukraine the lead, and then the third one right at the end, tucked away by I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that name. I do apologize. There's no way I'm gonna be able to pronounce that one. But nonetheless, Ukraine found the way through the U20 World Cup, guys, and it was an absolute pleasure to watch. Korea in this game specifically, you don't want to say they deserved more, because, realistically, they could not break down this Ukrainian defense. The Ukraine defense was it was absolutely unreal. And Lunin himself, in that goalkeeper position, didn't really have to make that many saves. He was kind of just there. I think he only made 2. He made 1 really good diving save, but he only had to make 2 saves in general off of what would be a ton of shots in total from Korea. There's a ton of blocks that Ukraine defense set up in, not necessarily a 5-4-1, but more like a 5-2-2-1, where they break from the wings so quickly. It's worked for them this entire U20 World Cup. You think a team would be able to snuff them out at some point, but I feel like with the amount of time that these squads, especially with these young talents, sort of spend together, there's not a ton of time. There's maybe not even a ton of individual talent that's used to breaking down the double block system that the Ukraine has, and so 5-4-1 was the formation for them. It's just at times it looked like it was like 4 separate entities of wall that people had to try and get through. It did at some points as well look more like what would be this kind of weird formation of a 3-2-4-1. I guess is the best way to call it, because those fullbacks would drop, push high, and then those outer center backs would even push up on the line and on the outer edges of the box. And it just goes to show, well coached, well managed, tactically astute squads, where these talents are continuing to play with each other over and over and over and over. It just, team play will always trump that of this great individual performances, especially in a competition like this. And when we got to this final, I said it in my semifinals video for Ukraine. I said Ukraine deserve to win this U20 World Cup with the way that they've played in such a good team fashion. Whether it's the possession, whether it's giving something away from the opponent to essentially grab something else in return. And so in this game, it was possession 53% in favor for Korea. Ukraine had a lot more of it in the first half. I feel like, specifically when they were sort of allowing just the back and forth between the two squads. Neither squad could really even get a foothold. Korea getting a 5th-minute penalty kind of, put Ukraine on that front foot where they had to go forward. But that's the thing, is that Korea, as well in this contest, they had so many shots, and just none of them were just getting through that back line. That back line was just standing solid as ever. And it's an absolute pleasure to watch what is essentially a defensive masterclass. It kind of reminds me of Antonio Conte with what he'll now do at Inter, what he did at Chelsea, what he did with Juventus, where you set up this back 5 or the back 3, and they essentially just become one. They become one giant brick wall that you get no shots on target with, and you essentially gotta hope to break on the counterattack at points. But it was not gonna go in this game, and Ukraine did such a tremendous job, I feel like, as well on their end of taking advantage of all their chances. 9 shots on target, 9 shots in total, 5 of those on target, all of those inside the 18-yard box. So I mean, very, very good shot quality, very, very good shot opportunities, and thanks to Supriaha, I think I'm now saying that correctly, they're going to end up with a couple of good goals for the win. So that is, guys, the U20 World Cup is over. Saying that, I say that because it's been an absolute journey watching the France squad, watching the US squad, watching this Ukraine squad, watching this Korea squad, and many others, Ecuador, Italy. All of these squads have been absolutely wonderful, filled with so much potential and talent. Filled with so much potential and talent, and yet we're only going to see a ton more, especially from the European standpoint, with the U21 Euros starting, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow and or Monday, I believe. So you guys should be sure, stay tuned on the channel if you're ready to still look at some of the best talent that the young European squads have to offer. As well, the Copa America is going on. The Gold Cup has officially started. African Cup of Nations will be starting soon. The Women's World Cup still going on. So there's still a ton of tournaments and a ton of football left to be played this summer. It's going to be exciting for us and Senor Puppy here to continue to watch what will be, I think, a very, very great summer for football. But I just want to, huge shout out to Ukraine. I don't know who I would say is the player of the tournament, to be honest. I would have to look up who they decided as player of the tournament, because there's just so many players on this Ukraine squad specifically who, they played absolutely, excellent, and I'm very happy to have, seen this final result and to watch Ukraine beat Korea. I know Korea, it's a little unlucky the way that this result is finally finished, but to even get to this point, I feel like it's such it's such a big plus for what Korea is doing, especially, going forward with the amount of youth talent that they have. They play this 5-3-2 formation to get the best out of the likes of, Sung Yeon-min and many others, especially on the attacking side of football, on that, South Korea senior squad. But to have, that hope that continuing to play this formation with the young talent that's coming through, it's only going to continue to, make things better in terms of, developing talent, developing as a country, and maybe returning back to the top of, that AFC region with, the likes of Qatar, obviously winning the AFC Asian Cup, kind of claiming dominance over that at the moment. But you guys should let me know your thoughts. What was your guys' biggest takeaway from the U20 World Cup? What are your thoughts on Ukraine getting the victory in the U20 World Cup final? You guys need to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure covering the U20 World Cup, and I hope to see you guys on, watching some more videos soon. But thank you guys once again, and peace.